All right, so now we're going to look at how we talk about future plans. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about what I call old and new plans. Plans are events or activities that you decide you're going to do in the future. For example, my friend and I are having coffee tomorrow at 2. Are we out of milk? Okay, I'll stop at the grocery store on my way home. So we're going to talk about old versus new plans. And you see that I put that in parentheses. These are called parentheses. And when I do that, it means not really old and not really new, but this is just the name we're giving it. So let's look at what that means. So in English, we use different future forms depending on when the plan was made. So if the plan was made before talking about it, I'm going to call it an old plan, even though maybe the plan was made yesterday. My friend and I are having coffee tomorrow at 2. So I'm going to call that an old plan because I made that plan before I started talking. There's another plan though. It's a plan that you make at the same time as talking about it. And I'm going to call that a new plan or a quick decision. For example, are we out of milk? Okay, I'll stop at the grocery store on my way home. I made that decision at the same time that I was talking. So old plans were arranged in the past. You already decided what you're going to do, where you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, and all of that stuff. This is the kind of plan you probably wrote down in a calendar somewhere. The finance department is meeting on the 15th at 3. I'm going to call the Japan office on the 17th. So that is a plan that we arranged in the past. Which future forms do you see in these sentences? Well, we see the present progressive. The finance department is meeting on the 15th at 3. We learned a couple weeks ago that you can use the present progressive for a plan in the future. I'm going to call the Japan office on the 17th. Another option when you talk about plans is our friend going to be going to. So when you talk about a plan that you made before you started speaking, or an old plan, you can use be going to, and you can use the present progressive. The finance department is meeting on the 15th at 3. I'm going to call the Japan office on the 17th. And remember, if I'm speaking fast, it's going to sound like gonna. I'm going to call the Japan office on the 17th. All right. So we could switch that around. The finance department is going to meet on the 15th at 3. Or I'm calling the Japan office on the 17th. So they mean exactly the same thing, and you can say either one. So here's a little challenge to practice this activity. If you would like to practice more with these forms and challenge yourself, this is a great activity to do, especially on the days we don't have class. This is really good practice. So you can stop the video, or remember, you can always find these activities on our Moodle site where it says Lesson 4.4. All right, so that's how we used present progressive and be going to. Let's take a look. Present progressive is a common way to talk about old plans or plans that we made before we started talking. We often use the present progressive for that. But there are a couple of things we need to remember. The present progressive can't be used with stative verbs. So to be is actually a stative verb. You can say, my son is going to be in Portland next week. But you can't say, my son is being in Portland next week. We never use the present progressive with stative verbs. So some of those stative verbs were from lesson 3.1. And what other ones do you remember? Let's think of a list. Stop the video and see if you can think of these verbs. They're also called non-action verbs. So we were talking about these stative verbs. So remember, those are things like know and think or understand, cost. Cost. Let's use the cost for an example. You can say that car is going to cost is going to cost a lot of money. So we have to be going to, right? That car is going to cost a lot of money. You can't say that car is costing a lot of money next week. You just say that car is going to cost. So some of those stative verbs, own, we are going to own a car at the end of the month when we purchase a new car. You would always use going to with words like cost and own. Or become is another stative verb. I am going to become an aunt when my brother has a baby, or brother's wife has a baby. So words like cost, own, and become are all stative verbs, and then we always use the verb going to. You can learn this best by just listening to how other people use the language and trying to model your language on that. Another thing that you want to know about the present progressive. Sometimes it can be confusing because it's also used to talk about the present. So we use time expressions to make it clear. I'm driving to Portland right now. That means right now. I'm driving to Portland tomorrow. That is a plan. Okay, let's move on. Writing about old plans. If you want to practice, you could write 3 to 5 statements or a short paragraph about your future plans. We might do this in class if we have time. What are you doing tonight, this weekend, or next month? Do you have any trips planned? Where and when are you going? Do you have any big events or parties planned? So you can check your sentences and make sure you follow the grammar rules for writing about old plans. For example, tonight I'm going to call my parents back home because it's my mom's birthday. After that, I'm meeting a classmate to practice English. This weekend, I'm going to buy some new clothes for the trip I'm taking to Los Angeles next month. So you see that speakers sometimes use I'm going to, sometimes they use the present progressive, and both are totally fine for talking about plans. All right, new plans. Quick decisions. New plans are decided at the same time that you're speaking. They're also called quick decisions because you make them quickly and immediately when you discover a new issue or problem to solve. Oh no, I forgot my mom's birthday. I'll go call her right now. Ooh, that bag looks heavy. I'll give you a hand. Which future form do you see in these sentences? I'll, both times. Will. I will go and call her. I will give you a hand. Future simple both times. So new plans are decided at the same time you're speaking. And these, again, as I said on the last one, quick decisions. And then we usually use will. Are you cold? I'll close the window. The phone is ringing. I'll answer it. Ooh, I forgot my umbrella. Oh well, I'll buy one on my way home. So in all of these cases, you see how it is the contraction. It's the short one. The apostrophe is short for WI. So I will, I'll. All right, and here's another activity that you can try. And you can work on this on your own. And if we have time in class, we'll do it in class. Okay, one last thing. What happens when a new plan becomes an old plan? Well, let's think about it. After you make a new plan or a quick decision, it then becomes an old plan the next time you talk about it. So remember she forgot her mom's birthday. Oh no, I forgot my mom's birthday. I'll go call her right now. Hey Sarah, I'm hungry. Let's grab some lunch. Sorry, but I can't. I'm going to go call my mom. So even though she just said it a couple of minutes ago, now it is an old plan. I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm going to go call my mom. And then again, gonna go. Okay, that's it for this lesson. Review it if you want to, and you can always go back and practice using those activities in the video.